What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel and check out the content. And I wanted to comment on this situation that's going on with Tyreek Hill. I know that a lot of people probably already heard about this young lady who was suing Tyreek Hill because they had some type of accident and Tyreek Hill mistakenly broke her leg, right? That's what she's alleging, that Tyreek Hill broke her leg, right? But what most people are not talking about is, and I want to use this as an example of how single mothers really, like how they really set themselves up to be a bad influence when it comes to their son, right? Now, before I play the news clip and a video of this situation, I want to say this. Remember, this young lady reached out to Tyreek Hill, and she used her son to do it. Right? She said that she wanted Tyreek. She wanted to maybe bring her son to Tyreek Hill so he can get some coaching and come to his camp. Right? And so that's what a lot of women will do. They'll reach out under the pretense that it's all about her kid. She's trying to get some coaching and some instruction from Tyreek Hill to help her kid, right? And so that was her in. That was her way to get in and get connected to Tyreek Hill. Now, not that Tyreek Hill is not not that he's not a responsible and he shouldn't take any of the blame for this, but this is what on her end, like when women have sons or kids and they go to the coaches and a soccer coach, a football coach, a baseball, basketball, and they get close to these coaches, and the coach he goofy, he thinking about having getting getting in them pants, he thinking about that, she thinking about doing whatever is necessary to get her son this some coaching instruction. Not only is she thinking about her son, but she thinking about this young lady, she thinking about this guy is a professional athlete. Maybe we can get into something more serious where as though I can benefit out of this such situation. So from the very beginning, Tyreek Hill allowed himself to be put in this situation um where he, a compromising situation, right? So with that being said, let me play this video and let me see. All right, here we go.
Opening statements begin in the civil trial against Tyreek Hill. A social media influencer is suing Hill, claiming he broke her leg. She took the stand just about an hour ago.
CBS News, my name is Joan Murray, as your reporter inside the courtroom with the very latest on this story involving the Dolphins' former star. Joan.
Well, I can tell you it was a dramatic afternoon. Just now they are breaking down the hallway there. That is Tyreek Hill. He is getting on the elevator. This was a very interesting day for him and for the jury to finally get to hear from the woman who is at the center of this lawsuit, an influencer who claims that Hill broke her leg. Influencer and model Sophie Hall has millions of followers online.
Still to this day, I really love painting. I like using acrylics. I'm going to go into oils soon and just making sculptures and arts. And yeah, I enjoy doing that.
Now she's in a bigger spotlight, testifying at her civil trial. She's suing superstar NFL wide receiver and former Dolphin Tyreek Hill, accusing him of breaking her leg at his Southwest Ranches home when they were practicing football drills.
All right, so let me stop it right there because I'm not sure how much of this video I can play. But like I said, so first she used her son to get into, to make that connection with Tyreek Hill. Now, after after he broke her leg, what happened was she wound up staying at his house, and they still had sex after she stayed at the house with the broken leg, right? And so, like, who does that? Who has sex or has relations with somebody after they break their leg? After a person break your leg, then you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna have sex with them, right? So this right here goes to prove that her motives were, they wasn't genuine. She didn't have genuine or innocent motives. Now, not to say that Tyreek Hill wasn't in the wrong. Again, like he shouldn't be doing football drills with a female, and then on top of that, going hard. I don't get it. I don't understand why he was doing that. I don't know. But this is the play. She used the son as an end. She had sex with him. Then on top of it, now, when the first two strategies didn't work, now she's trying to get money from him, by suing him, right? So he, in my opinion, he did set himself up for this, But like I said, as a little boy, and they haven't shown any pictures of her son, but as a little boy, you're watching your mother do this and go through this, and even if the media and everybody is trying to portray her as the victim in this situation, it's still not a good example. You know what I mean? Because this will, you'll have she's raising a man who will make questionable decisions, right? All along the line, her decisions was questionable. And when you put women like this up on a pedestal and you try to make them look like they the innocent victim, uh, and as a young boy, you see this as an example and you put her on a pedestal. So you, as a young boy, you don't see anything wrong with what she did, because, boys tend to pedestalize their mother. And so whatever she do, is overlooked or is excused, and she's put on a pedestal. And so they believe in their own mind that she had she had honest intentions. And so this causes the little boys not to deal with the situation for what it is, in most cases, and say, she not taking accountability. So he's not, as her son, he's not going to put her in a position where he's going to judge and make her make her want to take accountability because he the son. But this will go into like how he see the world and how he make judgment calls and stuff like that, right? And so he'll wind up probably in his life being somebody who is because he put his mother on a pedestal, put his mother and make his mother, he'll be a simp, and so these situations, I just don't, I think, man, these single mothers, man, they just put themselves in situations and cry victim later on. And Tyreek Hill is dumb. And a lot of the athletes, they don't, regret these type situations until they find themselves either with a kid by these women or, find themselves in court like Tyreek Hill being sued, then all of a sudden, because that's what the bottom line, that's what they're going to do. They're going to try to they want some type of leverage over you. And I always say that they don't, these single mothers don't have any more leverage than what you give them, right? So if he don't allow her at his home, and he keep it strictly professional and business, like it don't go any further than that. But when you want to have sex, now you compromised. You get to plan, roughhousing and playing, and you playing too rough. Now you're in a position where now she has all the leverage. And so of course she's going to sue. She wants some money. And now, look at her in this picture right here, and she's on a stand and she's portraying herself as a woman who is, like an innocent victim, good intentions, I didn't play the full video, but she's talking about how she's into art and, and all this stuff. And she has these glasses on and she looks very conservative and stuff like that. Then you got Tyreek Hill in there. They saying all this crazy stuff about him. And, he looking like he just looking like basically a schmuck, when they saying all this, he roughhoused her and he took advantage of a single mother and all this stuff. It's crazy. It's crazy, man, how guys allow themselves to be compromised and put in these situations. But like I said earlier, she don't have any more leverage than what Tyreek Hill gave her. Like everything that she's using against Tyreek Hill in court, is what he gave her. Like, he put her in a position where she could, you know, she could sue him. So that's all his fault. But, you know, these single mothers, man, like if a single mother reach out to a coach and, you know, and I know guys who coach and instruct women, their kids and stuff like that, right? But I always tell them guys, man, just keep it about sports, keep it professional, because you know nothing good can come of it, nothing good, you know. And so that's my take on it. Like I said, it's just another example of a poor, you know, mothers, how single mothers can be poor examples for their son and put their sons in positions where, you know, it's just not a good look. So that's my take on it. Make sure to like, subscribe. Also, don't forget to leave a comment. And with that being said, I'm gonna check you all out in the next video. Peace.